All right, so let's start. So this is Consciousness Radio special edition during the summer school between core structure and IIT, and we have a guest um, today, Matteo Grasso, one of the one of the faculty speaker from the IIT side, and we are now in a Bertinoro in a isolated castle with a nice sky. Thank you for coming. And maybe it's good to just ask some kind of an introduction or a little bit of history. So, what's your background?
My background.
Yeah.
So my background is mostly in philosophy.
Oh,
I did my undergrads in philosophy, and
that was in already Oxford or
no, it
in
was in
Italy?
Italy. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
University of Torino, and
Torino.
I wasn't super interested in conscious yet, like I didn't know. So
Oh,
I mostly first couple years I just studied all the history of philosophy from ancient
oh,
Greek to contemporary
oh,
philosophy of science.
oh,
And I was interested already in kind of like metaphysics and mind body problem, but in modern philosophy like Descartes. And then with the contemporary philosophy, I got more interested in philosophy of physics, philosophy of biology,
oh.
and then philosophy of mind ultimately, and philosophy of neuroscience.
Like what? Like a philosophy of physics? What is that?
Well, so there has been a lot of debate
Oh,
from the development of relativity and quantum
oh,
mechanics,
oh.
and this connects to history of philosophy because, for instance, already uh, Kant and other philosophers have theories about the
Oh,
physical world, and
oh,
there were
oh.
things about with Newton and absolute space and relative space, all this kind of things.
I
So,
see. So it's related to the foundation of
yeah,
physics and so on.
yeah, the debate in exactly
And
philosophy of physics and
Kelvin
foundation.
McQueen is also doing or specializing in that, right? In a
Yeah,
sense. Okay. And
yeah.
then physics of biology, the philosophy of biology is.
Yeah, philosophy of biology, there's a lot of topics about, for instance, the definition of life. So, what
Uh-huh.
is life? But also other interesting, in a sense, metaphysical themes. So, what
Oh,
counts as an organism? Or a species? Or, how do we classify biological organisms, species, ecosystems, and all these kind of things?
and what is the individual or something
What
like
is
that?
an individual
Uh-huh.
exactly? And of course, it also connects to the idea of essential properties and natural kinds that are all things that
Uh-huh.
even Aristotle tried to classify,
I
living
see.
things and non-living things.
I see.
Yeah. And so,
That was your bachelor degree,
oh,
more or
so,
less.
so my bachelor is then eventually I got very into philosophy of mind and neuroscience,
Oh.
specifically because of the debate on free will. And
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh.
So the whole series of Libet experiment style,
Uh-huh.
and then the latest fMRI resurgence of those experiments. And so basically the idea of hardcore reductionism and
Oh.
determinism and
Oh.
all the philosophical debate that's basically spanned from that
Oh.
topic, and
Oh.
that connected, of course, to also the idea of mental causation, because for freedom, the idea is that, of course, you need to be conscious in the first place. You need
Right.
to have reasons, intentions,
Oh.
mental states, and then
Oh.
you have to self-determine yourself, and then have alternative possibilities that are open to you.
So the simpler question would be like whether the consciousness can exert an effect on the world.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yes. And
okay.
if this is compatible with the world being deterministic or indeterministic, causation being something that the agent can actually engage with.
Oh,
But that brought me to then get a little more interested in mental causation and metaphysics of phenomenal properties versus physical properties. But also, I before going into that, I actually decided to devote my master's. I got a master's in cognitive science that
oh.
was not empirical, but sort of like,
Master's in cognitive science.
yeah,
Okay.
in Milan, and that's where I
Ah,
met Marcello Massimini, and I
okay.
did a theoretical. My dissertation was still theoretical on kind of philosophy of IIT, but it was informed by in the context of cognitive neuroscience and different theories of consciousness like
Ah, I see, I
global
see.
workspace and IIT.
So you did the master like 2 years or something in Milan?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And I went to Paris for 1 year during the masters to
Uh-huh.
study global workspace directly with the proponents.
Oh,
Sit with there and
okay.
yeah, it was.
Not the hand.
I met Dan a couple times, but I was taking classes with some of his collaborators.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
So about Sid, I know.
Yep.
So you worked with Sid for 1 year or something.
Yeah, I took mostly classes.
I see,
yeah,
I see.
But yes.
That was your master.
Yeah. And the idea was, okay, there are various theories of consciousness. Global workspace and IT are two of the main ones, and I was interested in understanding whether they were talking about the same thing or different things. And in philosophy, there is this distinction between phenomenal consciousness and access consciousness, and also intransitive consciousness and transitive
That
consciousness.
is around what time of the period? In terms of year? 2000 or? Your master.
Oh, my master's was 2010 to 2012.
I see. So that's when already the global workspace and the IIT has been already kind of more formulated.
Yeah.
way.
It was IIT 2.0. But yes.
I see. Okay.
So the idea was that IIT seemed like a theory that was actually talking about phenomenal conscious in the first place, and also intransitive conscious. So are you conscious or not as a being? Whereas
okay, go ahead.
Global workspace was mostly talking about transitive conscious, which is, are you conscious of this stimulus? And that's why the near threshold experiments and talking about contents.
Right.
So yeah. And then I decided to go back to philosophy and metaphysics for my PhD that I did between Rome and Oxford, and that was all about, okay, can we find what's the best metaphysical foundation for IIT as a theory of consciousness? And that was focused on basically causal powers, metaphysics of causal powers in connection to IIT.
I see. And then that's when you seriously started going to after the graduation. You started to go to moved into Madison.
Yep. So after finishing my PhD in 2017, I stayed in Oxford for 1 year as a short postdoc. And then in 2018, I moved to Madison as a postdoc, and I started working with Giulio.
I see. And then the rest is a history up until now. Okay.
The beginning was a little unclear. I was interested in still doing sort of philosophy of IIT, but then with Giulio, we agreed that it would be more interesting to pick up the computational neuroscience side of things and computing things with PyPy, and so actually developing IIT and applying it.
I see. So then you've been sort of the kind of everywhere around about the recent papers on IIT from IIT 4.0, and so before that there was also Nature Neuroscience paper in causal emergence versus causal structuralism.
Yeah.
Right. And then now you're working on
so more recently, one of the main strands of the IIT application that I've been interested in was applying the formalism of IIT to study contents of experience. And so when I arrived in Madison, Giulio and Andrew Hahn were already working on space, so accounting for the extendedness of the visual field.
Right.
And so that the paper came out in 2019, and then I worked a little bit on that with an example, the map versus grid paper of maps and grids, that basically made the point that you can perform spatial functions and detect spatial properties without actually experiencing space.
Right. That's sort of the review of the anatomy of the human visual system with or without conscious pathway, and also the grid system V1, like simulated agent, and also thalamus.
Subcortical pathways.
Simulated agent that behaves exactly the same way, almost.
Yeah.
With many different kind of inputs.
Yeah.
But internally very different.
Different internal connectivity, such that one specifies a spatial extension, so a causative structure with distinctions related in such a way that it instantiates spatial properties, and the other one doesn't, but behave the same way.
So that's a sort of the explaining why this structure generates experience of space, but that doesn't. Some other doesn't. So, okay. And then maybe then last year you applied for the summer school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. And then we also invited you to come over to ATR for 2 months for extended period. And you probably liked it, right?
Yes, I liked it a lot, and yeah.
So you came again to the grant meeting
Yeah.
to continue the collaboration, and then now you are promoted to the kind of invited speaker faculty status here. And then we trying to arrange another visit to the grant meeting again, hopefully.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the connection. And then so what was your then experience, or what did you like most about the last summer school, and what could have been done better
Mhm.
for the last one,
The last one. So one thing
if
that
you
I
remember?
yeah. One thing that I really liked
Oh,
was it was the first time that I tried this kind of format where the first week there was a lot of learning going on, and across at least three different well approaches, like one IIT, qualia structure, and category theory.
right.
So that was getting out of the comfort zone and really learning new things.
Yeah,
And then the but also with the incentive of just like, well, all this is not just aimed at expanding your knowledge, but to actually allow you to come up with some project.
yeah. In
And
Awaji
then
Island.
exactly.
Week,
And then the second week was really interacting with a lot of people, and that really sparked a lot of ideas. And yeah, so being so creative is something that, sometimes when you start your PhD, you basically you marry a project,
right,
and you're kind of stuck with it
right.
for the entire PhD. And then even more so as a postdoc, actually you can work on different things, but it is narrower and narrower, at least sometimes. So and if you come up with a project, is because it's the natural consequence of some things, and instead in this format you can just brainstorm,
right.
and something that you couldn't do alone comes up that you can maybe do in collaboration with somebody else.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so that
That
was
sounds
really
great. Yeah,
really really extremely interesting.
Oh.
So one thing that, okay, you asked one thing I didn't like,
Or what could have been better
could have
in the
been
last
better.
one?
So maybe,
Oh.
yeah, I have to think about that.
Okay, if that's the case, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
if you remember or come up with that, that's fine. And then after the grant meeting, maybe we can just revisit that later. But this is the second week
Yes.
of the second summer school.
Yep.
So what was the sort of best thing so far, and so what could have been better?
Well, so the best thing so far, I think I got the feeling that, well, actually this connects to what could have been better the last summer school, that I think was better this time, was that the journal clubs pre-summer school, I think, were more organized this time.
Yeah.
And or maybe I got the feeling that when people arrived from the very first day of this summer school, people were already sort of speaking the same language a little more than last time.
Oh, so I see. I thought that people said quite a positive thing about the journal club already last time. It was not that easy to improve upon that, I thought. But so this time somehow better, you feel?
Yeah,
Why was it?
I don't know. Maybe because maybe that I remember that last time people could come up with their own readings, maybe more. Instead, this time we gave a list of readings that they could present, and maybe it was more curated. Is that true? I don't
We
know.
probably gave the list as well last time.
Yeah.
But that rough topic was, last time it was 5 different categories, like a quality structure between me and Masafumi, and then phenomenology, philosophy,
True.
and then shift theory,
True.
and then IIT, and also sleep and awake, right?
It's true.
But this time it was more like a quality structure, IIT, and the category theory.
Yeah, it feels more focused. Like it feels like there are these three topics, and people try to engage a little bit with each of them. And we started from the get-go of the first week.
Right.
People were kind of like talking.
Right. And I also tried to also this time and more explicit that if you are already familiar with IIT, then try to read something that is not familiar, like in a category theory, or if you are familiar with the category theory math, then try to read the IIT side, right? Yeah. So maybe that broke the minimum barrier, maybe. Oh,
Yeah, it could be, and also it could just be that maybe 1 year later, some development, more people heard about IIT and had time to read 4.0. The wiki got out, and there was already a year that the wiki
maybe.
was
Yeah,
out, and
yeah.
maybe people had time to go through something. So for the IIT side, at least, I felt people were more informed, like the
Right.
participants.
Maybe that's the case, but I also think that the TA was also pretty good this year. The TA is this year, we mostly selected participants from last year, right? So they know how it was like last year, so they could kind of organize or also promote or discussion, and also keep the time for the discussion
Yeah.
more in time, so that everybody has some time to speak and also think. So, but yeah, we can probably improve further about this as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
expectations and the requests were, I think they were also clear this year. It was
Right.
like everybody needs to present this many times. The videos will be available. Please watch them. So it was a bit more.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
think the second round,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
some
yeah,
things
yeah.
got refined.
First time, yeah, it's never be perfect actually. Yeah, okay, good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then, so that has been already better than the
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, and so I also think
Oh,
that I mean the experience this time was, I think, great. A lot of people were connecting their own interests and research and coming up with strong projects even before starting the
right.
summer school, right?
Oh,
In the application, and then they revisited them, but also some people completely changed, I guess. So
yeah, so in fact, on the day you were there, right? On the first day, on Sunday, including the self introduction, everybody introduced their project for 2 minutes or something. But compared to that, already today's project presentation, which was longer, but I felt it was much better. Well, I could at least understand what they are talking about, much better.
yeah.
And some of them already kind of, almost like a really good proposal. Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I see. So that's a good thing. And then so far, and then is there already something that you think it could have been better for this year?
Yeah, so I think having an opportunity to, so the first week is good that the students can listen to talks in the morning and then spend the afternoon coming up with mini presentations and then present them. But there isn't a ton of time to actually discuss,
Right.
and maybe if there are misunderstandings, clarify, and having more like questions and answers. So I'm not entirely sure how to solve that problem, but I think it's good to know for the future. Maybe it can be something like every other day there can be a section that is sort of like taking stock of what has been done, what has been said. Maybe there are some questions that are lingering that should be addressed all together. So yeah,
Okay.
that's the feeling I have.
All right. So that's good. Is there any other thing that you want to talk about summer school per se? Or maybe then we can also move into another topic that I was going to ask, like that your perception or idea about Korea structure, or Korea structure and IIT, or IIT per se, or more kind of science related kind of ideas, or even also meta science kind of idea of how to kind of promote science or philosophy or whatever in the future direction. The wind is getting stronger, so if you want, we can go inside if you want.
Sure. Yeah.
Shall we
Maybe
then
it's
stop?
better. Yeah.